embargo lifted today. The game comes out tomorrow, and it's Plague Tale Requiem, sequel to what was it? Innocence? Plague Tale Innocence?
I think so. Yeah.
Did you ever play the first Plague Tale?
No, is it still on Game Pass? It was on Game Pass for a while, wasn't it?
It was on Game Pass. I don't know if it is. I think it still is, but I know I have it on PC. That's where I have it on Steam. That's where I played it. Deck compatible or verified. Okay. This is the follow-up to that game, which is an absolutely phenomenal game. I highly, highly recommend the first Plague Tale. Yeah. And this game picks up just like a handful of months after the first game, same characters and everything. And it is a game that is made with confidence from a studio that was now given more money, because it doesn't deviate too much from what the first game was. The first game is like a stealth game in a lot of ways, and like a story-based action game. Very little action, but some really good action nonetheless. That kind of slowly starts delving into the supernatural. It really takes its time to get there. This one doesn't really take its time, sort of, because you already know about the sort of manipulating rat horde stuff that's going on with this one. But this is really, they got a lot of confidence. They didn't change a lot. All they did was refine everything in terms of visuals, storytelling, combat. As I say in the chat there, the sequel looks like you get a lot more options for playstyle, and it's true. You really do kind of like the first game. You really were like, okay, this is the stealth section. Okay, this is the story section. Okay, back to an action section. But this one really, the stealth sections really feel like you can get into action sections and kind of make it out okay. But it's beautiful. First of all, they've really fine-tuned the fidelity of it. I'm playing it on Steam. I've heard that certain console versions aren't running so hot. There was a big update today. I was hoping the big update would let me play it on Steam Deck, but
you're straight.
But it did not. I can boot it on you boot it on Steam Deck, and you just can hear the opening music playing, and then it just sort of gets nothing, and then it's like, okay, well, I guess I'm not playing it on Steam Deck. My laptop's not the greatest, that's what I'm playing it on, but it's still like it's holding steady, but it does kind of dip in frame rate once in a while. But there's a lot going on. There are a lot of rats in this game, man. Like, the hordes of rats in this game are absolutely impressive. Like, they really fine-tuned the rat mechanic this time around. But it's hard to talk. It's impossible to talk about this game without sort of like spoiling, because it's story driven. It's 100% story driven, and
is this the opening early on in the game?
This is not. This is a little later. But I think it's like I'm like 6 hours, not 6 hours. I'm like 8 hours into it, but I also play at a snail's pace because I like to sort of peek at things. And like early on in the game, you're like you're in South France this time during the during the Inquisition times. So
I think the first game was like 10, 11 hours. I'm here in this game closer to 15 hours.
Yeah, that seems about right. I'm about 8 hours in. I should finish it out probably tonight and tomorrow.
Visually, it looks great.
It's absolutely stunning at this game.
Wow.
Is gorgeous. There are times where even on my sort of like, my laptop's not bad by any stretch of the imagination, but like even playing it on this, it was just like
nice.
Like I'm
impressed. I mean, the vast majority of consoles are 30 FPS, right?
Yeah, that's what I was talking about earlier. So it's the consoles are kind of locked at 30, and apparently they're not performing very well right now, especially the PS5 version.
I mean, yeah, at some point I'm sure the game was good, but we got some engine problems. I think
the Steam. I've been having very little problems with the Steam. For every once in a while, my laptop will take a dip, but also the rat hordes are like 30,000 rats in the rat horde, so it's like I'm giving it a bit of a break on my particular device. But
so what's the explanation of being able to use sonar vision for this video game?
You just
You're just that good.
Just that good. Listen, there is a conceit of some supernatural stuff going on. Like, I don't know. You weren't here when I asked Dally. You didn't play the first one, did you? So
I didn't.
Everyone play these games. They're fucking phenomenal. Like, I'm not done with this. I'm not done with this one yet, but I can already tell you, like, this is a front runner for me as it stands right now as one of my favorite games of the year. It's just it ticks a lot of boxes for me. It is this wonderful sort of folk horror game set with like with stealth action. And like, you're trying to cure your brother because in the previous game, your brother has an affliction. I don't want to spoil a lot of the stuff, but like, the rat horde stuff plays into it because it's the plague, but also he can control the rats. And the final boss fight is like a rat versus rat, like rat horde versus rat horde smackdown. So is it scary to play? Yes, it is scary to play. It is technically a horror game in its own little way. But it's more like folksy horror. But it's
so cool.
I highly recommend this franchise as a whole. It's a weird thing because I think everyone knows about its existence, but only like rats off to you. Thanks, Ryan. Everyone knows of its existence, but it seems like very few people have actually like sat down and played these games. And I cannot recommend them enough. I think they're actually they play really well, and this sequel takes a pretty well-playing game and just refines every part of it. They were given more money to make a game franchise that they clearly love, and they used that money to not necessarily reinvent the wheel, but just refine it down to its essential oils. So I love it so far. I will probably write a thing about it after I finish it tomorrow. So
excellent.
Can't wait. But that's everything else I've been playing.
And the sequel's coming to Game Pass, right?
Yes, it is.
Sweet.
It is available tomorrow on Game Pass.
Man,
I think honestly, if you're interested in this game, maybe just watch the movie version. Like, go to YouTube and watch one to figure it out, because the gameplay cycle is relatively the same, but refined down a little better. And that way you're just not like killing yourself playing like this game twice in a row. It's on Game Pass. Highly recommend checking it out.
Or maybe I'll just end up getting Innocence and then put it on easy mode and
there you go. Yeah, it does have
right through the game.
Yeah, it does have a narrative mode, and that it just makes everything like the guards are a little less aware. That your attacks do a lot more damage. You have to worry about a lot less. So, I highly recommend. I would recommend doing it that way.